you so much for speaking to me.
And thank you so much for asking me to do this. I really appreciate it.
I'm going to talk to you today about nonviolent communication and empathy. Before you connect with someone else's needs, you need to connect with your own.
That's right. Yeah. It's not just about reaching out, it's also about going inwards.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to ask you about that. So, because one of the first things that happens to me when I have feelings that feel really painful and uncomfortable
Mm, mm.
is I absolutely don't want to connect with my feelings or needs. And I'll find
Yeah.
loads of ways of blocking them out.
Well, it helps if you've got a community of people, or even one person. Anger is made up of pain, fear, and unmet needs.
Thank you.
Sometimes we say it's like an iceberg. So the anger is the 10% that we see above the waterline, but the 90% is buried deep.
Anger is pain, fear, and unmet needs. And
Yeah,
so often that we might just connect with anger, and that often maybe
exactly.
as a professional, I might see anger and respond to anger. And what you're saying to me so strongly is underneath this the tip of anger, you see pain, fear, and unmet needs. And if we haven't seen those things, we need to look again. Then I think what you're doing is you're taking us away from what can sometimes be like people just going head to head or
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. But if I'm connected enough with my own feelings and needs, then I will have a desire and a willingness to connect with theirs as well.
And one of the ways that you said that we could notice when our arousal got up is you've used this thing called, you said, noticing jackals. Could you tell
Yes.
me a little bit about
Yes.
jackals and jackal speech?
Yeah, jackals are one of my favorite things. And jackal speech includes things like labeling and blaming. Like if we find ourselves going, she's so disgusting, or she's so out of order, or he's whatever, controlling, whatever. Blaming, labeling, also words like should and ought to, and things like rules. These are the rules. We have to do this. We don't have a choice because these are the rules. Things like that. They're all jackal speech. And jackal speech is basically speech that disconnects us. It disconnects us from ourselves, and it also disconnects us from other people. So when we are experiencing jackals, I see that as a really, really beautiful thing, because jackals are pointing to our needs. They're pointing to unmet needs. Connecting with feelings and needs is what can move us out of that kind of dynamic and into connection.
What you've just said is, which I find so powerful, you said blaming and labeling disconnects us from
Yeah,
others and from ourselves, was the
that's
other thing
right.
you
That's
said.
right. Yeah.
So and one of the ways that I can hear myself do that as a professional is sometimes when we're saying that person's manipulative or they're
Yes.
chaotic or their personality
Sorry to cut you, Felicity. It's not so much that those words disconnect us. I think it's more that those words reflect the fact that we're not connected. But they
and then
also don't help, do they, with connection? If I say she's manipulative or she's controlling or whatever, that's not going to help us to connect, is it?
no, and yet do we do that all the time? And
Yeah.
also do I do that, if I'm annoyed at my partner, if I'm annoyed at,
Yeah.
whenever I get annoyed.
If I can look at the speech that I'm using and think, right, okay, what are the needs underlying this, or what are the feelings underlying this? Because feelings are the doorway to needs, really.
So for example, I know that when I start getting really annoyed at somebody, blaming and labeling, that is an indication to me that my arousal's gone up.
Right, right, exactly.
So if you're only seeing your anger or their anger, you need to look again.
And just keep looking, yeah, to keep trying to connect with feelings and needs. It's not always all that easy, but this is ultimately what we're wanting to do.
Find an ally who can help you with this
Yeah,
and help me connect with my feelings and my needs.
yeah. And the most important thing is that the other person realizes that I genuinely care about their feelings and needs. So even if I get it wrong, that really doesn't matter. It's just part of the process. And then the person would say, no, I'm feeling X, Y, Z.
I love that. It's not about getting it right. It's
Mm,
about the process of you and them attuning to
yeah,
what's going on for you.
yeah, it's feelings and needs, yeah.
I feel like I've learned an awful lot. Thank you so much.
It's been a great pleasure. Thank you very much for having me, Felicity.